Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Fears that the XRP ledger may become the Nokia of cryptocurrencies are currently permeating the XRP community. All of this points to the fact that the XRP ledger will be unable to keep up with the most advanced blockchains of the present day in terms of adopting new technologies and integrating them into the core code. In this video, I'd want to discuss this topic and give my thoughts on whether or not the XRP ledger will be able to keep up with the rapid pace of technological advancement. This is an issue of great importance because every day brings with it the introduction of new blockchains to the market, some of which may offer advantages over the XRP ledger. In this video, I'll share my thoughts on whether or not I think the XRP ledger will be surpassed in terms of innovation. Don't leave before the event is over. There is a lot riding on this discussion. The grayscale case will be updated briefly to start off this video. The main reason I pay attention to this is that a return of institutional investment and a subsequent bull market in cryptocurrencies depends on the occurrence of certain bullish catalysts. The introduction of a spot Bitcoin ETF would make this market accessible to many people who are inexperienced with cryptocurrencies, and is thus one of the most bullish triggers that is just around the corner. Retirement funds, family offices, and other types of financial institutions will use spot Bitcoin ETFs to diversify their holdings in the cryptocurrency market. Despite the fact that the SEC is now barring several of these Bitcoin products from being converted to spot Bitcoin ETFs, to put it simply, this is an impetus for good. Grayscale, who just had success in court against, it's important to remember that just the Grayscale won their legal battle with the SEC, which means the agency can't object to the same claims the company was making before it converted the GBT product into a spot exchange-traded fund ETF. Earlier today, Grayscale published a letter, and I'm writing to you about it mostly because I found it hilarious. Given the 15 previous denials, we are confident that if there was any other cause to truly decline the Bitcoin SPY ETF, it would have appeared by now, they wrote in a letter to the SEC. The length of time that has passed without a response from the SEC is also being emphasized. Just laughing out loud at this. It's time for you to give this AKA for your approval, because we've filed this item 15 times based on arguments you've constantly opposed, but which have now been proven false in court because of Grayscale. Once companies like Fidelity and BlackRock start offering their own variations of a Bitcoin ETF, institutional capital will begin to pour into this market in significant amounts, and I believe Grayscale will succeed in having their product turned into a spot ETF, which I believe will spur the SEC to start authorizing additional Bitcoin ATMs. The SEC is presently making an effort to halt everything, to prevent it. But even in black and white, we made great strides. They are now demanding that the SEC take action and restart the process. We must now await the SEC's subsequent action. Against the Grayscale ETF conversion, they have no real defense, therefore they'll have to invent or find one. I'm just not sure they've got what it takes to make this work. However, I do monitor it. And now I'd like to discuss whether or not the XRP ledger will supplant the Nokia of digital currencies. New, more advanced blockchains that can compete with the XRP ledger are being released every day. Some are faster or already have smart contracts, while others have features that the XRP ledger will never be able to implement. I'd like to have a conversation about whether or not this will have long-term consequences for the XRP ledger. Will it be surpassed in the future? In response, I will state that based on what I know now, you are correct. And the key reason I am not is that the XRP ledger has a massive institutional adoption network, whereas none of these existing advanced blockchains do. In the process of expanding the XRP blockchain, Ripple is adding some of the world's most prestigious organizations. This is not a rash decision, either. Ripple has been meeting with the world's largest financial institutions for the past 5 to 10 years. Furthermore, many of these businesses are still attempting to figure out how to implement one of these blockchains. When introducing cutting-edge tech, these long-standing institutions, such as huge banks and states, are painfully slow to adapt. And the whole while, Ripple has been there to direct them. These mammoth corporations won't just up and adopt a new system overnight. What they have been studying and investigating for the past 5 to 10 years will remain a primary focus. When people consider the XRP ledger, they think of a network for exchanging value rapidly and cheaply, but also one of the longest operating networks in history. These are cornerstones that will never be present in the blockchain era. It's possible they'd engage in speedy, low-cost dealings. They may have tools that aren't included in the XRP ledger, but in the end, only a fraction of projects will benefit from them. It will be crucial to be able to assess which institutions and organizations accept various blockchains, despite the fact that brand value is commonly overlooked when discussing blockchain technologies. Earlier Thursday, Ripple published the results of their investigation. This article discusses why blockchain technology has created so much buzz in the banking sector. Furthermore, they state that over 76% of major corporations are considering blockchain implementation. This report, however, shows that Ripple has been making visits to these establishments and carrying on conversations with their staff. They are identifying the specific scenarios where blockchains are needed. Many of these companies have internal Ripple teams figuring out how to best adapt their wares on the XRP system. Most state-of-the-art blockchains lack this capability at now. They developed cutting-edge technology, but they might not understand how to implement it in modern businesses. They have use cases now, and their technologies will soon be ready for commercial deployment. However, as Ripple has demonstrated, this is a lengthy process. Ripple has already made significant efforts to prove the value of the XRP ledger to these financial institutions. These groups won't make rash decisions about their direction. CBG, another great example of the growth of Ripples, is the letter C. Ripple is one of the leading companies introducing national digital currencies issued by central banks. There is no way an automated project could ever notice this. You'll need compliance teams, a big army of attorneys, and people who can get you into meeting rooms with the most powerful corporations in the world. To put it plainly, this is not something that most crypto projects consider. It is challenging to recruit board members who can transport a small, specialized participant in the crypto business to these places. In this case, Ripple has been performing these steps for some time. After reading 801XRP's tweet about a CBC conference, I decided to check out the lineup of presenters. And as we can plainly see, Ripple is heavily featured. In fact, Ripple is mentioned almost every time CBCs are mentioned. They are the organization I see using a public decentralized coin at the CBDC conferences, so it's important to know that. If I were to examine the cryptocurrency market and come to the conclusion that cryptocurrencies will play a significant role in the next generation of the financial system, I wouldn't have to look very hard to determine that Ripple and XRP are the primary businesses enabling institutional adoption for cryptocurrencies. From there, I'd know to search for the cryptocurrency they're using, which is XRP. Even though there is a lot of cool tech out there, I hope this sheds light on how challenging it is to implement it in the right place so that it can eventually make a difference. I do want to round out this movie with a great scene that I discovered on Twitter. It will show how deeply Ripple is embedded in the modern financial system. It took a long time, years, and a lot of work from people like lawyers and government officials. We'll have to reinvent the wheel for every other cryptocurrency initiative that relies on cutting-edge technology. However, pay great attention to this film because it will clearly indicate the progress Ripple has already made and how lofty his own aspirations are in light of what we have talked so far. I think what we are doing and doing every day is basically taking over Swift Ripple's technology, which is being utilized by some of the largest institutions in the world that have Swift capabilities. We have had well over 100 banks sign up so far. Since clients can now send money for $2 instead of $20, we saw a remittance company using Ripple's technology only last week. As a result of the price drop, overnight transactions soared by a factor of 800%. Since Swift does not support this kind of dynamic, it is the only one we can provide for them right now. One of the previous Fast board members, a man named Marcus Treacher, recently joined our team and is now in charge of customer success. A former board member of Swift also came me and said, "Hey, We don't think Swift is going to be necessarily solution to really unlocking this Internet of Value, just a prefix are up there. But it does explain what the goals of Ripples are. Intentional widespread chaos in the banking sector is the goal. A specialized team is needed for this. No company or digital asset can simply step in and say, "Hey, we have this great technological solution," and expect to be accepted. Since Ripple is so far ahead of the competition, no one will ever catch up to it. Because of this, I have a lot of faith in XRP. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming today. I trust you found this update interesting. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. See you soon, bye.